Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to the Lucinda Green Cross Country Clinics. This is across 2 days and it's been held at the National Equestrian Centre in Taupo, and I am so excited. I have been waiting a long time for this. We are about 2.5, maybe 3 hours in. We've gone the long way because we're in the old girl, so we just want to make sure we're not going up massively windy hills. Probably have about another 2 hours. I've checked the horses, they're both really happy. They're doing well, so we'll probably get there at about just after 7, and then we'll tuck them away in their paddocks and we can get going for tomorrow. Woohoo! There she is! So we arrived a lot later than what we expected. It was like around 8:30. It took us a lot longer to get there. So regarding the content, so our power bank actually ended up failing, so we didn't have any way of charging our phones. So I'm sorry if there's not a whole heap of content or if you've been waiting for me to reply on YouTube comments. I've been trying to save power so I can get all this footage for you guys. So once we packed in, we were all ready and set to start the next day, which was show jumping. Okay, you guys have to bear in mind with me during this show jumping. So this is probably by far the worst riding you were going to see from me. I was very stressed. So in the warm-up, as I was leading Ruby down, someone's horse got loose and was hooning around, and Ruby got very upset and she reared up on me. Mum, I forgot to tell where Mum to go, so Mum didn't turn up. She had all my gear, and as you can see here, I was just really struggling to handle Ruby. Like, that was terrible riding, but I was just very stressed. She just turned into a completely different horse, which is fair. She hasn't been out, but I was just really struggling to stay on her because what Mum missed at the start is that Ruby was trying to almost rear up on me. She bucked a few times. I almost got thrown out the front door, and I was like, holy heck, I'm at a clinic with an Olympian and I'm probably going to get bucked off. Like, I was just in my mind like, how the hell am I going to survive the cross country? Like, I was too scared then to canter down the hill, even though Lucinda was like, canter. And I was just really struggling to see strides and everything with her. So after this clip, Lucinda was like, you need a martingale, which made a massive difference. But you have to bear in mind, the martingale wasn't a perfect fit. So it's fine from now, but it is ever so slightly too short. So don't come at me at the comments. I know that I'm at home now, and I will be finding a slightly longer martingale for her. But after I got the martingale, I felt like we were really starting to get a little bit more confident together. I was still getting thrown around a bit and I was still quite nervous, but I was really starting to feel like I could actually do the jumps. So as you can see, I'm really starting to actually canter into the jumps and sitting up. I was really happy at the end of the clinic, like compared to how unconfident I was feeling. I forgot to turn here. So this was a really tricky combination. And once I did this, was like, wow, okay, she is A, very nippy, and B, like, we're really starting to get it together. But yes, the entire first half of the clinic, it was raining, it was wet, Mum wasn't there, she was late. I didn't think she was going to turn up because she had no clue where to go. And I was just very stressed. On top of that, I got my cycle the next day, so I was in so much pain with my cramps and stuff like that. But we survived, and just please forgive me for my awful riding. But my logic is like, the whole point of sharing the journey is just to show when I ride like shit, pretty much. So this was the skinnies. Ruby thought she had to jump the whole thing. I, again, lost all my confidence because I just finally felt like I was sitting to her and she started doing this. And I was like, oh my goodness. So right here, this jump here, I thought I was done. I thought I was absolutely going to send it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am not going to survive cross country. And Lucinda was talking to me and she was saying, you need to sit up and you need to just wait for this jump to come to you, even if she spooks. So I was like, okay, I need to be brave. So I really tried to really sit with her. And as you can see, I was a bit better here. And I was like, okay. So after that, I really started to get my act together. I'm a lot more just letting her jump. I do admit I need to work on releasing the hands. It is quite scary when you're just literally trying to hang on. But considering the fact this is the first time either of us have really jumped, I was really impressed with her. At the end of the first day, she'd settled a lot more. The only thing about Ruby is that she very much likes and knows her job. So she figured out we would do our little course, then you would come to a halt, and then walk, and she'd happily walk around. But as soon as the other horses started going and I picked up my reins, she was like, oh, okay, we're going. So she very much knows her job, and once she knows what to do, she'll do it for you pretty much. But here I am tackling the skinnies, which skinnies was a really big difficulty before we came to this clinic. And Lucinda's made the comment, she said, if your horse runs out, you can't ride. And I was like, I want to ride, I can ride. And I didn't have a single run out. I was so impressed. As you can see, hoary as riding, but please forgive me. First time doing this jumping together, and I was just so proud of myself for actually going out and not falling off. But I still had to survive the cross country. But here I am here. So I finally, right at the end of the clinic, decided to be brave and finally cantered down the hill, which was like, oh, please don't buck me off. But she was really, really good. Like, as you can see, not the most flashiest way of touching her face, but she is very, that jump there, but she was very, very adjustable. So we're on to day 2 of the cross-country clinic. Like I said, we were struggling to have power, so I could not touch my phone overnight to ensure that I had enough battery to record all the cross-country, because that was the most important for me. So in the warm-up, Ruby was very unsettled again, but I didn't feel so stressed. I think because I knew I could handle her from yesterday, and I just didn't walk her until she settled. So before I did all of this riding in the water, I did a lot of trotting, a lot of walk to trot transitions, and then right as we're about to start, she finally just started to walk, but I had to always keep walking her. She didn't really want to stop, which is fine. She's a thoroughbred. She just thought she was racing and she didn't understand. So, water jump, very impressed. So Lucinda started us off by just walking through the water, getting them used to it. And she's a very, very pretty girl. But I had to make sure when jumping into the water to not die, because I knew she was going to launch it. So here I was just making sure I walk her in nice and quietly, let her get to know it. And then after that, Lucinda really started getting us to move into jumping the water jumps. So once we were feeling a bit confident and making sure she was all right with all the gear, Lucinda was like, Rachel, canter into the water. And I was like, okay, whoa, launch it. Been a little bit of backlash there. But like I said, again, you're just going to have to, please don't judge me on my riding. I'm just happy I survived. You got to remember, I've gone from jumping little ponies like Hamlet and Rusty, who are both technically classed as schoolmasters as well, to now riding a green thoroughbred who is very, very peppy. But it doesn't mean I can't handle it. It just means that I just need to level up to be able to handle her. So Lucinda likes to start off with poles and then build our way up, and then she likes us to go up the mount and do that as a square halt to make sure we're practicing with them coming back to us after the jumps. So as you can see from the jumping, Ruby loves to launch it and I just have to hang on. So like I said, very ugly riding at times, but we went out there and we did it. So this was a little bit better. Lucinda was very much trying to tell me, which I feel like I got better as I go along. She would keep saying feather-like fingers. Like as you can see here, I was starting to really get my confidence. But yes, so she wanted us to, when we were jumping, the horse is allowed to use their complete neck and you need to be able to slip the fingers in an instant. So as you can see there, I am starting to slip the fingers, but I need to slip them just a little bit more. We actually spent quite a long time at the water jump, but I quite liked it because it really was something I was a bit worried about with how Ruby would be. But Ruby was really, really brave. Like, watch this jump in. I was kind of expecting her to maybe have a look, but she just like launches it. So she's quite brave there. So that's where I got told off for touching her face. Lucinda was like, I hope you know what you did wrong. And she said, it's okay, you do it wrong, but but you need to learn to, have a muscle memory to slip the reins. So that is one of my biggest work in progress. So once we did the water, we moved into this house, and Ruby did not even care. She didn't even have a glance. I thought maybe she'd be a bit worried about the shadows, but nah, she was completely fine. She actually ended up being a lead for someone, but I was very, very happy with her. And as you can see, she's actually quite bowling along. Also, as you can see, I'm starting to kind of put my hands forward, but it's still not like perfect. But we were really starting to get a lot more confident and trusting each other. I felt a lot more comfortable this day than the day before. I felt like I could actually handle her. See, I'm really starting to leave her alone a lot more and just trusting her. I think I was starting to feel a bit more secure with my seat. I did find with the ditch, I did get still a bit unsettled, but it was better than yesterday. And that's kind of all I really wanted. And then hopefully as I go out next time and do more cross country, I just get better and better with slipping and allowing her to look and jump how she needs. But I was not expecting her to be this brave. So with Ruby, I think the thing is that if I don't have my legs on properly, she will run out. And that was what was happening at home. But Lucinda fixed that. And provided I had her forward and going between my legs and gave her a little bit of a reinsurance right before she jumped, she was just like, okay. Like, she was very, very careful. So this is the most I had with spookiness. But she was like, oh, okay. Then I jumped the little ditch. So this was the first little course we did. And she told us we could jump the 2 bigger jumps if we wanted to. And no one did. And I went last. And I was like, okay, I'll jump this jump here first. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think she'll be all right. So I just did the little ditch here. And this is an 80 centimeters. And as you can see coming up to, I was like, okay. And she flew it. I was so happy. Obviously, once again, just ignore my leg position. I was more focusing on making sure I was behind the saddle. And then when I'm better, I'll work on the legs. But she flew that. And it gave me a lot of confidence because I've also got a clinic with Laura Collett in January. And I'm doing 80 centimeters. And I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of need to get my act together so I can actually not make a fool of myself with Laura Collett. But as you can see, Ruby is very, very capable. It'll just be whether I just get thrown out of the saddle. I am hoping to go and have another cross-country practice day somewhere. I've got a cross-country competition coming up and hopefully a couple of lessons in between now and Laura Collett to really get my confidence going. So we are coming to the end of the cross-country clinic. So we ended with doing a little mini course. I decided to do it twice because I didn't like the way I felt. But I was really, really happy with her. As you can see, I'm just not so stressed. I'm a lot more fluid in the body. Obviously, when I first tackle some of the jumps, I'm still a little bit sticky like here. And coming up here, I had a bit of a yucky, but I felt like I was really trusting her. But I am slipping the reins a lot more. Lucinda was really happy with me. Not like in a perfect position, but she was like, you're really trying compared to where you were at the start. Like, the fact that I didn't fall off was like the most biggest thing for me. But my goodness, I am so glad I came and did this clinic because Lucinda Green really just has a way of getting you going and feeling so confident. This is our last jump and it's not perfect, but it's such a start and I'm just so happy and I can't wait for you guys to see more content with Ruby in the cross country.